Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really common challenge in web automation. How do you move upwards in the HTML structure? You've probably been there, right? You write this absolutely perfect XPath. It finds your button, finds that piece of text, but the thing you actually need to click or check is its parent, or maybe its grandparent. So how in the world do you go backwards? Well, the good news is XPath has these amazing tools built just for this exact problem. They're called axes, and they let you navigate the entire family tree of a web page, not just down, but, you guessed it, up. Okay, so let's start climbing. First things first, though. To really get this, we need to be super clear on what an ancestor even is in the world of HTML. It's actually a pretty simple idea. The slide says it perfectly. Think of it like a family tree. An ancestor is just any element that wraps around the one you're on. So its parent, its grandparent, its great-grandparent, you get the idea. It's everything up the chain. All right, so for this upward climb, XPath gives us two main tools. We've got ancestor and ancestor or self. Now, their names give you a huge clue about what they do, and honestly, understanding their one single difference is, well, it's everything. And here it is. This is the one detail that really matters. Ancestor selects only the parents, grandparents, etc. Ancestor or self selects all of that plus the current node itself. So think about it. One is like asking for a list of your relatives, and the other is asking for a list of your relatives and you. That little distinction is the key to getting exactly what you want. So, what does this look like in the real world? It's actually super straightforward. You write your normal XPath to find your starting element, then you just add /ancestor : and whatever tag you're looking for, like div or table, that's it. And you're gonna love this. For ancestor or self, the syntax is exactly the same. Literally, you just swap out the axis name. The structure doesn't change at all, which makes it incredibly easy to just flip between the two depending on what you need. Okay, enough theory, let's put these methods into action. We're going to walk through a real example to see how this tiny difference in the name has a huge impact on what you actually find. So first things first, we need a solid starting point, right? We're going to find a specific div on the page that has the ID error box. This is going to be our anchor, our You Are Here map pin that we'll start climbing from. Okay, now we just tack on our axis. We're basically telling XPath, hey, from that error box div we just found, I want you to look up and find every single one of its ancestors that happens to be a div. And what do we get? 7. XPath finds 7 elements. So that means there are 7 div tags wrapping our little error box. The parent, the grandparent, all the way up the document tree. But wait a minute, here's the key thing to notice. Our starting element, that error box div itself, is not in that list of 7. And that's because the ancestor axis, just like its name implies, only looks up. It completely ignores the element you started from.
All right, round 2. We're going back to our exact same starting point, the error box div. But this time, we're going to swap in the ancestor or self axis instead. Let's see what happens.
And now we get 8. Okay, hold on. 8 results? Where did that extra one come from? We started in the exact same spot. We looked for the same div tag. What's different? And here's the punchline. That 8th element, it's our starting div. It's the error box itself. It's the self in ancestor or self. This method includes the starting point in addition to all its ancestors. And that, right there, is the whole difference. Okay, so finding a whole list of ancestors is cool and all, but let's be honest. A lot of the time, you don't want all of them. You want one specific ancestor, right? Like maybe the main content area that holds your element. And you can totally do that. You just add a filter, a little predicate, right after the access. So instead of just saying, give me any ancestor div, here we're saying, give me the ancestor div that has the ID content. And this is a game changer. It lets you find one tiny stable element and then jump with surgical precision to the exact major section of the page you actually need. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaway. It's super simple. If you only need the elements above your starting point,
use ancestor. If you need the starting point and everything above it, use ancestor or self. That little or self is the only difference, but man, is it a critical one. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know you can travel up the DOM, how is that going to change the way you find elements? Think about all those tricky elements you've fought with in the past, the ones with no unique ID. Knowing you can just find something stable nearby and climb up, what problems can you solve now that you couldn't before?